Shabbat Shalom to all of you. This second parasha of the book of Numbers, Bemidbar HaSefer. This book is a very special book because according to the beginning and the first chapter immediately tell you that it's written just after the second month, at the ending of the first month or the second year, getting out of Egypt, and they were in the middle of the wilderness, and they were at the feet of Har Sinai, the mountain of Sinai. What it tells us also from the same passage that we can determine that just the last week, 2 weeks ago, that when we saw the finishing of Vayikra HaSefer, the book of Leviticus, we saw that this book really is made in 1 month only. And there are many instructions for the korbanot, or the offerings, instructions for holiness, instruction about tahor, to be clean, and how to walk in the presence of our Creator, and how to abide in His tent of meetings, Ohel Moed, in His Mishkan, in His sanctuary. All of that is a preparation for the people of Israel to go again and to start a new trek, a new journey. And this journey is to go to the promised land. Something that we need to learn from the Torah. Because this week, what is the week of Shavuot, is the week of Matan Toratein, giving of the Torah to us, to His people, and Har Sinai. This is what we call a Shavuot, that in other religions is known as Pentecost. And sadly enough, because of other religions have put things there and sometimes takes away the meaning of the Torah. You know, when many times we over-allegorize something, we over-spiritualize something, we lose the meat, we lose the essence of the message, and we dilute the message like we dilute in the water, you know. Sometimes people say to me, what does it mean to adulterate? And I say to you, adulterate means that when you give something for something that it is not. Let me put it this way. You know, you say, this is milk. Okay? Milk is what comes directly from the cow or from the animal who produces the milk. After that, any treatment, any change, for good or for bad, already is not any longer regular milk. It is treated milk added or taken out. For example, today you have 2% milk. You have 13%, 7%, 80%, 90%, half and half. You know, all the type of milk. But all of those that have been already adulterated. They are not the original. You know, you can say, but I better, or the word, whatever you want to say, is not any longer the same. And then we need to be clear about many things when we read from the Torah. I have tried to teach you in these years that our God is not a capricious God, as sometimes people want to paint it. Our God is not a wishful thinking or it's like a talisman that we keep it in our pockets in order for good luck. You know? our God is the creator of everything. Through him, everything was made, and without him, nothing exists. Then, when we start looking and putting the situations in the order that it needs to be, we are going to be able to understand even better the message that he is giving to us. We as men, we have always trying to interpret the messages that our Creator has been giving to us. And many times our interpretations are, or understandings are correct, but sometimes not only are incorrect, but they are going to take us to the wrong way. This is the reason that we need to go back to the original. We need to go back to the source of the essence in which we have received the revelation. One of the things that you're going to see, or I have been sharing with you, is that more and more we have been producing a set of religions or beliefs, when they call it set of norms, made by men. And they have given to us what I call it human religions. They're all with cosmetics around. They have been put it in the sense that is supposedly is our Creator who has given us those rules and regulations, or those norms that we demand on our religion that we have created. Many times, most of the religions that we have today are almost totally man-made religions with a little bit of words from our Creator. We have seen many writings from many people from many different groups that they try to talk about our Creator, and they talk about our God. In some of them they talk magnificent and beautiful, and it's in the sense of men trying to glorify this eternal God. But sometimes in that glorification, they go beyond what he himself is telling us who he is. And our interest sometimes, in the sense that we want to glorify him, we make him something that he is not. Because as human beings, we have the tendency to make him subordinated to our way of thinking and our philosophical ideas. The God depends with the time in our personal definition or definition of humanity. And it's totally the opposite. It is no man who defines God, but it's God who has created man, and for that reason has defined man. When we start to understand that portion, we start coming back to our senses. You know, this idea of religion, that at the end they say that we are going to be equal like God, or we are going to be super beings or something like that. You know, we need to be careful in this attitude of understanding God's revelation, and to understand that he is the one that is in control. No. Men. Then, when people ask you, what religion do you have? You know, I can almost assure you that you are following a human religion. A man-made religion. Doesn't matter which one do you want to tell me, I can assure you that is a man-made religion. What I mean is there are a lot of things that man has put into it to supposedly to worship or to help in the adoration excuse me, and in the relationship with their Creator. Let me ask you something. How many of us would really, really, really believe that we have a real, real God? And you will be surprised that most of us we are able to lift our hands. And doesn't matter which religion you come, you have a real God. And my question it is, how many gods are there? The Torah, in his revelation, tells us that there is only one God. There is no other. Only one. No two, no three, no 5, no 20, nothing. Only one. But we, with our philosophies, with our theological ideas, we are way of misunderstanding the scriptures. We impose man's understanding on God's word. And doing that, we create a totally new religion. And not only that we create a new religion, but we impose it by force. And if you don't believe in my way, I kill you. Like I am greater than God because I create my God. In this week is the continuation of the beginning of the book of Bamidbar, and this the counting of the people, we can call it that way. First of all, we need to ask a simple question. Does our Creator, our God, maker of everything, and all knowledge, all omniscient, everything, that he needs to know how many are we? Sometimes he said that we are going to be more numerous than the sun, you know, the little pebbles in the sand. But here, my question is, does our Creator need to know how many are we? You know, from the moment that he needs to know how many are we, in my understanding, he sees to be God. Because he's omniscient. Then how do we interpret this counting? For the benefit of whom is the counting? This is the way that you need to start to understand God's revelation to us as human beings. He allows certain things as in a teaching mode, what we call it in a pedagogical way, for us to start learning not only about him, but about ourselves. The next thing is, you're going to see here that he makes a separation. Dude has 12 or 13 tribes. You know, everybody talks about the 12 tribes of Israel. But at the end, we were 13. Why? Because Joseph was divided into tribes. Now, Ephraim and Manasseh. And those tribes become, instead to be now 12, they were 13. Now 13 for us Jewish people in Gematria is a beautiful number. For the rest of the world, 13 is a bad luck, they call it. For us Jewish people, it's a blessing. Now you're going to understand about the prejudice of other religions when impose those ideas. Okay? And you're going to see that the Gentiles were the ones that created the idea that number 13 was a bad luck. Why? Because they defined Israel. Okay? And then, what is interesting is, number 17, you know, the tetragrammaton, Yahweh. They call it Yahweh. Then we don't know the pronunciation. Yehu, Behe. You know, we don't know the pronunciation. I mentioned that way because it escaped from my mouth, but I do not know the pronunciation. We call it Adonai when we are here. We call it the Lord. We call it Hashem in other terms, as people that we respect and we're reverent to His name. But even that, that it is an idea that has been given by our rabbis, by our teachers, to preclude or to protect us from committing a big sin, to pronounce the name of our Creator in vain. But the truth of the matter is that the Scripture, the Torah, doesn't teach us that we cannot pronounce His name. What He teaches is that we cannot pronounce His name in vain. But when you become religious, you become to make it stiffer and stiffer, narrow and narrow, to the point that you become suffocated. And religion kills. The human religion kills, suffocates. And what our God, blessed be His name, trying to do with us was to give Him the opportunity of His greatest gift, but is the gift of free will, to exercise our will, because He made us the crown of His creation. That's what I talk about Shavuot. That's what I talk about giving on the Matan Toratenu. And in this week, the counting is the division again in two ways. First of all, He's going to divide the 12 tribes and plus the one tribe, the Levi's tribe. The 12 tribes are going to be counted for the army to defend Israel against the enemies. And after that, He's going to create another army, but this army, it is to protect the Mishkan, the temple, the sanctuary. And this is going to be the Levites. On the head is going to be Aharon and his family as the Kohanim. And then we are going to have the three brothers or the descendants of Levi, Gershon, Kohat, and Merari. And they're going to be giving to them any special instructions on what they are going to do. The camp is going to be formed. It's going to be in a square. In the center is going to be the Mishkan. And around the Mishkan is going to be the Levites. And around the Levites is going to be the rest of Israel. You can call it a square, that looks like, and or you can call it concentrical or circle, that concentric, and the same center. Why is our Creator doing this? Because He already is giving us an order. Interestingly enough, here is when you're going to start understanding a term about being chosen. Because this is a very special term that sometimes is misunderstood. People think of being chosen is like I deserve because it's a privilege for me. You know? And they do not understand that being chosen means it's a responsibility. to you. You know, it is not that you are going to be served, but you are going to serve. By the way, this idea needs to continue until today. But the problem that you're going to see that this idea has been twisted to the opposite. Today, for example, when you see people in the government, people in positions of leadership, how do they take it? As something that they can hold on to and to benefit because of that. And they are in a position not to serve, but to be served, not to benefit others, but to benefit themselves. According to the Torah, was just the opposite. More in the top you were, more responsible you were. Have you heard that statement? More is given to you, more is required from you. And you're going to see that already we are start changing our paradigm. You will be surprised that our paradigm shift needs to be changed 180 degrees. The way that we are accustomed, the way that we have been taught, the way that we are is totally the opposite to what the Torah reveals to his people. Do you know that the characteristic of selfishness is something that it is a no-no in the Torah? Because the reason of your existence and my existence is for the sake of the community. I was given life. I have been given the opportunity to be in this earth that has been given by our God, our Creator, in order to participate in the benefit of the community, not in my own benefit. How is the world today? Greed and selfishness is one of the most important characteristics of humanity. Do you know that this world has enough food right now to feed the whole world? Have you seen now how many groups of people are leaving their countries and trying to go to other countries, and many of them they are dying in the journey to go, supposedly to find freedom, to find a better life? Many of us that we are here in this beautiful country called Canada, how many of us have come because we were looking for better pastures? You know, because we were leaving behind poverty, or we were leaving behind persecution, or we were leaving behind ignorance, we were leaving behind so many things. And the question is, why the whole world cannot enjoy this beautiful thing that our Creator has given us? Why do we allow leaders, they are so evil? And why do we allow leaders that they are holding their own people hostage of their evil ways? We have countries right now. It's not interesting that the country in the Middle East that is the most open, where there is more freedom than any other one, is the one that is punished and chastised for the world. Last week I heard a comment or testimony, you want to call it, of a former anti-Israel Arab, that now it is in favor of Israel, a Palestinian, that he fought with the Hamas. And he said, I was duped, I was deceived by this leader. And then I was going up in the line, and I realized how corrupt they were, these leaders, that they would send their people, children and women, to die, and they were having the life of abundance. The people were starving to death, and they were having the life of abundance. The people couldn't protest against them, because if they protest against the leader, they were going to be called Zionists, and they would be killed. And it's interesting, and he said, when I was taken in Israel, and I saw Israel totally different, and I saw my own Arab people here in Israel is the only Arabs in the world that they have more freedom than even in their own countries. More rights than in their own countries. And the world is punishing Israel. Why? Well, this is why we need to be clear. Not only in what do we believe, but in the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And why he had chosen his people. And why it's so important. If you are part of the chosen one, your responsibility. And this is how he is going to put it. He calls Israel, the 12 tribes, they're going to be the army of God, the one that's going to work and fight. And then he's going to have a small group of Levites, that they are going to be the ones that are going to take care in two ways. The sanctuary and the priests, they're going to take care of the spiritual welfare of the people of Israel. But what happens when those who have been called by God misunderstand the calling or disobey the calling? Who are being hurt? And you're going to see that they are the same people who got called. They are the ones that are hurting themselves. I always say it's very easy to blame the neighbor for your problems. But you need to understand that the problems need to start with you, and you need to be the one that start to solve them. You need to analyze why you have a problem, what the situation, the way. We always look on others instead to look at ourselves first. The Torah teaches everything begins with us and goes to the community. This new philosophy, Western civilization, goes in a totally different direction. Civilization exists, communities exist for the benefit of the individual. And the individual needs to benefit as much as they can and get as much that they can without caring what they give to others, only what is for me. And you see the difference, and this is the reason that we are in the world that we are today. Because each country, each nation, each group, each special groups, they are only thinking about themselves and what they can get. It's the minority who thinks about the others. When God called in a separate way, he counted the Levites outside the Israelites. The first thing they told them is, you are not going to receive any inheritance. That is a very bad thing if you are the person that you think that you know that your value is up to what you have. You know, your wealth. your belongings, something that you can grasp it. There's something that you can really say, you know, I have something that is going to take care of me. But now Julie buys, from now on, to serve me means that you're going to totally depend on me. And depending on me means that you're going to depend on the goodwill, welfare of the rest of your brothers. You don't have the right for owning anything, but your brothers are going to support you for you to be able to do your task that have been given to you. You could complain. Oh, how many of us we have said, for example, oh God, I am not ready for this, or this is not what I like. I would like to do something else. How many of us we have been running away from our responsibilities? You know that today you're going to see groups of people. They are more irresponsible than other groups of people because they have inherited this idea that I am not responsible for my own family. And we have changed the order that our Creator has been giving to us. Do you know the one that suffer more than any other thing right now are the women? Even that the women think they are the most liberated, and now they are almost in the cuspid, in the top of the mountain. And the women are self-deceiving themselves. Why? Because when God gives an order, and when God calls, He gives to the people what they need to do. And because He knows what is the best for each one. When God created men and women, male and female, let me tell you, He knew what He was doing. I'm sorry to surprise you, but He knew exactly what He was doing. And He knew the difference between a man and a woman. Today, the women wants to be men, and the men wants to be women. Today, men are taking the role of a woman, and the woman is taking the role of a man. I call it the role. As a degree of who is superior to anyone. And we misunderstand that God created male and female co-equal. We are the same value. And believe me or not, the Torah was the first revelation that civilization had that gave it to the woman the level of a human being. The Torah gave to the woman equality to men. The problem that we have confused is about equality with roles. Men, doesn't matter how much you're trying to be a woman, you won't be able to give birth even if you want to. Women, doesn't matter how much you want to be a man, you will never be able to be a man. Even if you transform yourself. Genetically, you are who you are. The only thing is you're playing the game of self-deception. And the worst part is that today humanity has accepted a big lie. And today, because we are open-minded, everything is okay. Do you think it is something new? In the Haftorah, we just read about Manoah, no? Who is going to have the revelation of his wife that she's going to have a son because she couldn't get pregnant. And God's going to make the miracle. And his son that he's going to have is going to be called Chim Chom. Sound like a Chinese here, no? Samson. No? Samson, you know him as Samson. He was a judge. And he was selected as a judge. And the story is this, that he did everything contrary to his calling. Until at the end he discovered he went back to it. At the end of the book of Judges, there is a statement to say, at that time there was no king, and everybody did according to their own understanding. We are in the same situation. Today, everybody does what everybody thinks. One day they're going to come one thing and say, you know, God told me this. And the other comes and say, God did say this to me. No. God said this. I said, wait a minute. I said, wait a minute. We have the word of God here. And God had not told me anything to me. But, you know, your word can be so beautiful. But let's compare it with the scriptures. Besides, you know, if God wants to give a message, He's going to give it to everyone. He can use interlocutors, but He's going to give the message to all of us, and the message is going to be clear, not confusing. I know that you're holier than the others, or you're better than the others, because there's nobody here holier than anybody else. Let me go back to these chosen people and the Levites. Each one of them was given a responsibility. And in this responsibility, they needed to do special roles. The Gershonites, who were descendants of Levi, and they were the firstborn of Levi, you know, they were given the role of taking care of the Ocher Moed, the part of the coverings, everything that was the walls and that everything that was textile. The Kohatites, who were the middle sons, and they were, by the way, from the same family that Aaron comes from, they were given the very special role to take care of the ark. And then the Merarites were given the role to take care of the poles and all the beams and things like that. Sounds very simple, but it had a very important reason. Each one of them knew exactly what they needed to do. But there was no crossing. And any time that you get out of the order of God, you suffer the consequences. We saw this in the passages you remember in Kings and then in Chronicles about in Samuel and Chronicles about King David. You know, when he had his friend that he was trying to move the ark and he touched it, you know, and he died. Why? Because that was not his role. Then later on he learned that he needed to do it the right way. And in the right way nothing happened. Totally the contrary. They were able to transport to Jerusalem the ark. Like that, there are many examples in the scriptures about when you are out of the will of God, when you are out of the order that God has given to you, you are going to suffer the consequences. What you have been chosen for? Have you ever asked yourself that question? What is your role in anything? What God has called you to do? You start scratching your head and say, I don't know. I am here. What are your are here? Because you want to be better? You want to impress God or doing something else? Or because this is where you need to be? And this is where you need to be. Are you going to be the standing block for the people to grow, or you're going to be a step to go up? You see, little by little, we are going to be learning about our place. And it's very sad when you are in the wrong place, because you're going to feel out of place. And even if you try to force you there, you're going to be always an outsider. But when you are in the right place, you feel that you're at home. I just, not long ago, I was talking with somebody and I say something like this, something that I repeated again. It has been my experience as a rabbi through almost now here in Montreal more than 20 years. What is interesting, the people who are giving more problems to our community are people that never did anything. They're only the one to something for themselves. The people who bring more problems are the people who are very self-centered, very selfish, and they think that they're right and everybody else is wrong. People who think that they deserve a better position, and they think that they need to eliminate the others. Pretty soon in this same book, we are going to see the story about Kohat, the family of Kohat, and we are going to see the story of Korah. And you're going to see how he tries to impose himself. And we're going to see the descendants of the children of Reuben, who felt that their place had been taken away from them to be the firstborn. And how the people say, this is not fair. I deserve a better position than they have now. Because they are looking for position instead to be looking for service. How many people are looking for acceptance instead to be looking for serving? The teaching of this week, Nasso, when you need to be counted, it is to be counted on what? To be counted only as a unit, as a human being, or to be counted in the purpose of a community? May I ask you this simple question to all of you? What are you doing here? What is your position here? And this is going to help you to grow. Because you're going to realize that you are very important. And your presence is very important. Especially if you understand what is your role. But when you want to take somebody else's role, or when you want to do something that you have not been called to be, you become a standing block. I call all of you to understand your calling. In this parasha, there are other terms, subjects that I already mentioned. I recommend you to read my last year message you're going to see how our Creator is teaching us about doing teshuvah. That to acknowledge who we are. You know, I have been teaching you about this over and over again. But I wonder, chapter 5 is telling us, for example, if men or women that have done something wrong, they need to make the reparation. And to make the reparation means, first of all, to acknowledge what you have done wrong, to confess it, and to make it right. You know, in other religions, they teach you, the only thing that you need to see is to confess your sin. They say, give me a break. Everybody can say, sorry. That's not what our Creator is asking you. Our Creator makes, Teshuvah means reparation. It's like a tikkun. We need to repair the bridge. We need to repair the broken jar that we have done. We need to put it together again. And we need to give back what we have taken. The scriptures tell us that we need to pay back for our wrongdoings. Nobody likes the idea. All of us we like to say to get away with a crime, to get away with murder, only we say, sorry. Well, I already told you, sorry, what do you want, my blood? No, no. Sorry is not enough because sorry means nothing. Because the true teshuvah comes from within, not from words, from within. True teshuvah is acknowledging that we have done something wrong and we are responsible for it, and we need to make it right. Until we don't get to the right, we're still in the other side. How many of us were still in the other side? Well, after that comes what in Judaism they call it the problem of the sota. What is the problem of the sota? The sota is the woman who supposedly has been unloyal to her husband. And here is a beautiful teaching of our Creator about giving the woman the position of a human being. Until that time, a man had the right to do whatever he wanted to do with his wife. A man could take the life of his wife in any moment. And he was not even responsible. Because his wife was like another commodity that he could buy. Even he could sell it. The women didn't have any value in the sense of humanity. The only value were a way to produce more children. And it's our Creator who gives to the woman for the first time the value of the human being. And all this procedure of the bitter waters was to pacify the men, not and to protect the woman. You know, when the men feel jealous, or somebody told him, oh, your wife is, look at what your wife is doing, and he wanted to kill his wife because of that, then he needs to go in front of the priest. The priest in the temple will get the dust, put in the water, will mix it, make a blessing, and give it to the wife. And he will say, you drink this water. If you have been unfaithful to your husband, oh, your stomach, you're going to explode. You know? If you have been faithful to your husband, not only will happen, you're going to be blessed, and you're going to have many children. And even if you have had daughters, you're going to have a boy. You know? That was it. Yeah. You see? Well, what happened? They will drink the water. You know, the wives were clean, conscious. They didn't do anything, but the jealousy of the husband. And the husband was waiting for the wife to explode. Waiting for the wife to explode. And the wife not only didn't explode, she drank more water, you know? And then he got embarrassed. He had forgiven it to his wife in front of the priest, and he went, and then they had more children. Okay. This is so important to understand the mechanics what God is doing here. It is protecting the woman, because the woman until that time, if you read the Codes of Hammurabi, you won't believe if I tell you what they say, what they do to the women. Okay? But you can read it for yourself. But it's not a nice description. Okay? And the woman didn't have any right whatsoever. Look at what the Torah is doing for them. Next, after there comes the Nazarite vows. And this is totally the other side. This is for men and women who wanted to have or enjoy in certain way for a short period of time to experience the same level of the Kohanim, the priesthood. They wanted to experience how God has called Aaron's descendants and all the responsibility that they have it in their life, in daily life. They couldn't cut their hair. They couldn't eat any type of grapes or the derivatives of the grapes. No juice, no wine, nothing intoxicating. You know, they needed to be, for a period of time, they needed to be totally pure. And they were very special. They call it separated Nazarenes. And the next, after that, is going to come the dedication of the temple. And in between the dedication of the temple and the Nazarite, got this beautiful, the Aaronic blessing. יברך אדוני וישמרך, יאר אדוני פניו אליך ונקה. יישא אדוני פניו אליך ויעשה לך שלום. One of the most beautiful blessings that our Torah has given to us, to be given by the Kohanim to bless the whole nation of Israel. In this blessing, there are two sides. One is blessing, and the other it is what we call it, giving us the possibility of the physical blessing. There is a spiritual blessing and there is a physical blessing. The blessing for one side and the keeping from the other side is to guard, to take us from the position of God taking care of us in the spiritual realm. Also he will take us in the physical realm. All this beautiful portion that we have, all this teaching that our Creator is giving to us in this week, is for us to make us think in this way. Who are we? Are we called by Him? And we have been called by Him. What is our role in all of this? Because you will be surprised that God made you in a marvelous way. Tachem, Psalms 139. You have been created in a precious way. And our Creator has not committed a mistake with you. You are not a mistake of nature. Totally the contrary. You were made to be a blessing. And if you are still not a blessing, you need to start checking yourself, why not? Because all of us, we have that sparkle of life that our Creator has put in us. And we have the opportunity to develop what He has given to us. The problem is, because we have been given the gift of free will, we have chosen the other side. Or we have been deceived, or our brain has been twisted by things that are not for us. And we need to go back to the right way. Then what God is asking you at this moment, go back to the center. Go back to your calling. Go back to what He made you for. If you have been walking away from His calling, I recommend that you make a stop, a search within yourself, and look what He has given to you. And this is the key of understanding the Messiah issue. And the problem with the misunderstanding with our Messiah Yeshua is, again, human beings making Him something that He is not. Because we as human beings, we have created our own idea what the Messiah is, and we do not follow what the Torah tells us. We have created the product of our own imagination, something that is not true. And we have forced it to the people to believe in those ideas that they don't come from the Torah. Yeshua will be very, very sad to know what they had done with Him. And this is the reason why we need to follow His example. He did what He was told to do. He was obedient to the Father. He was obedient to God, our Creator, to the end. He was faithful, and He always did what He needed to do. We need to follow His example. And I pray that we learn from Him this story. Not the story that has been given to us by the human beings, by the theologians and other people. But let's go back to the scripture to see what our Creator is teaching us. Shabbat Shalom.